Good day, class. Welcome to Fundamentals of Database. And today, we will be discussing the introduction to database. So the question there is, what is a database? So let us first answer what is database and what is its difference with DBMS or Database Management System and database system. So first, a database is any collection of data. So once you are collecting data, so you are creating a database. So what do you need in order for you to store and to manipulate all those data that you have collected? So that is the DBMS or the Database Management System. Because a database management system is a software which is designed to maintain a database. So you need to have a DBMS in order for you to maintain all those databases that you have collected. So what is an example of a database management system? Before, we're using Excel in order for us to collate all those data and for it to be used as a platform or a database in order for us to easily access several amount of data. And then later on, it was changed and improved. So we already have the access, the MS Access. So MS Access is also an example of a database management system, which is used in order for us to create a database. And there are some other DBMS there exist, which is also has the same function, that is to create those databases. So you have the MySQL, so it is essential for you to learn how to make use of MySQL in order for you to code it using SQL or the structured query language. And another question is, what is a database system? So database system is an application designed to be built and populated with data for certain task. So we specify there that there is a certain task in a particular database system, and it is used to create your own databases. So an example of a database system is an enrollment system, an inventory control system. Sales system is also an example of a database system, which is usually used on supermarket, on sari-sari store, department store. So they make use of the POS or the point of sales. So database is used when actually you wanted to manipulate the data, you wanted to collect the data, and to easily access those particular data and to protect those data. So DBMS is used, or the database management system is used when there is a large amount of data that you are collecting, and wherein you need to have security, you wanted to have integrity of the data, because those things are very important, the security and the integrity. And at the same time, if just in case many users wanted to access or must access on that particular data concurrently. So there are several data that are accessed concurrently, similar to what we're doing right now using the M rooms. So while the students are accessing it, the students are accessing it, the teacher may also be accessing all those data that you wanted to access. So it must be controlled by a database management system wherein it is connected with a particular database system or an application that will control the entire system. And what is an example of a particular database system? So on the screen you can see the enrollment system, because that is so familiar to each and every one of you because you have experienced using that particular system. So the question there is, what are the information and transactions included in an enrollment system? So I know that you already knew all of those things because you have experienced it, as I've said a while ago. So actually, if you can name one or two, you can just comment it down below no? And I will just read it later. So one of those things that are recorded or taken as an account in using the enrollment system are the records of the students. So we wanted to secure and to protect the record of the students. So that's why we created this enrollment system. We also wanted to keep and protect the record of the rank and file. So we have the rank and file. These are the secretary, the employee that are included or that uses that particular database management system. And in an enrollment system, it is also essential that it secure, it protect, it keep all the records, especially your grades, in order for it to have a good customer service. Just come to think of it that your grades will be lost because the system is not that secure, diba? It will be a hassle to each and every one of you. And also, we need to keep the records of the teachers as well as the employee, as well as the subjects record. Each courses that you have enrolled, we should keep the record of it. The data must be kept. And you students, actually, as you enroll, you wanted to get the schedules at once, right? So right now, that's why you are attending this class, because you know that this is your schedule, and that is an output of the enrollment system, that is to generate the schedule of each students. So those are the things that are essential in an enrollment system. And another thing is, what are the concerns of the users in using database? So are there any concern of the user? You as a user, do you have any concern on using that particular database? Like for example, when you enroll, so do you have any concern with regards to the enrollment system? So actually there should be. You should be familiarized with all the transactions that you will be doing, all the things that you need in order for you to enroll. So users' concern includes, number one is the program inquiry. So you inquire for the program that you wanted to enroll. For example, you're a BSIT or computer science student, so you are going to ask whether that program is offered or not. So if it is offered, so what subjects are offered during first semester, second semester, and what are the prerequisite, the co-requisite. So those are important in an enrollment system. And another is, syempre, you have the schedule of each subject. So there should be no conflict on each schedule that is extracted from the enrollment system. And after finishing certain subject, you should have an output. So that is the grades that you earned after accomplishing certain subject. And aside from that, before you can push through on going to the class, so you need to finish all the subjects, and at the same time, before you graduate, you should settle all your financial obligations. So including on those things that the enrollment system is putting into reports are the tuition fee, because how can the enrollment system compute for the tuition fee? Because it indicates the number of units, it indicates the number of or the amount per unit on that particular subject, and they just need to total it in order for you to determine how much you are going to pay for that particular semester. And at the same time, if the schedule is already finished, included on the enrollment system, it is much better if it has the teacher's assignment. So if an enrollment system has a teacher assignment, it is much easier for the one handling the distribution of load to the teachers to give those loads to them, because it can easily determine who those teachers are available to teach a particular subject, and in order for them to resolve the conflict on the schedule. And at the same time, if there are teacher assignment, there should always be room assignment. But as of now, we don't have the room assignment since we are doing it online. But it is necessary for a particular enrollment system to have its room assignment. But actually, if you for you to know, even if we are doing this the lesson online, still there are room assignments on each schedule that was given unto you. So if you're going to look at your schedule, there are room assignments, especially on the laboratory and on the lecture part. So you can just see that each subject that you have has a room assignment. And another thing is you should learn about what is the post-requisite, the core requisite, and the prerequisite of each subject. Because there are subjects that must be taken simultaneously, meaning at the same time. And there are subjects that you cannot take because you need to take first the prerequisite of that particular subject before you can take the post-requisite of that particular subject. So those are the things that are concerned by the enrollment system. So meaning, in order for you to create a very good database system, you must know the entire process. You must know the people, the transactions that are involved in a particular system in order for you to create a very good database system. And you must also acquire a very good database management system that will help you along the way. And why do we need DBMS? Why do we need DBMS? Can I just make use of the pen, the paper, the notebook, the book in order for me to control and protect the data? Is it enough? Actually, not. Because as you can see, books, notebooks can easily deteriorate in time. Yes, you may say that data may also be not protected using computers, but data lasts longer if it is stored on hard drives or bigger storage devices. So as the question goes, why do we need it? So number one is for protection of data. So we need to protect the data. Every data that we collect, it should be protected. And at the same time, we should have data control. Data control, who may access those data, who are allowed to access the data, at what point can certain individual access those data, and at the same time, how can that particular database system keep the record, and how long will that record last in that particular database system. And at the same time, it is essential because it is efficient. It is efficient, and how come that it is efficient? Because a human cannot hold a very large or vast amount of data into his brain. Yes, we can store lots of ideas, lots of things in our brain, but it would be too hard for us to memorize all of the things that we read, all the things that we acquire or access. But those electronic devices can store it longer than how our brain can store all of it. So that is efficiency in handling. Again, efficiency in handling possible constraints. So those are the things that those are the reason why we need database system, why we need to study database management system, and why do we need to protect those data. That is for better data keeping, better record keeping, and in order for us to have a good access to the data and to the many things that we wanted to keep, especially those information that will last for long. So again, if you have any question or any comment, you can just write it down below. And talking about those things, so we can definitely say that using database is very advantageous to each and every one of us because there is persistence, there is concurrency, there is access control, there is data control to redundancy, there is better interface, and there is better backup and recovery. Because this advantages is very essential, because what if there are people who wanted to access certain data at the same time? Just come to imagine that there is no concurrency in a particular database system. So no one can access MRoom, no one can access any kind of system once someone is using it, right? So why build a system when only one individual can use it at the same time? So it is one of the magic of the use or the progress in the area of the, system development, because they have developed, or those people, those programmers develop certain way in order for us to access data concurrently, and there is different access control. If you're worried about security, so there are different access controls. So the access of a regular user is different from the access of the higher rank. So sometimes they have 3 level of security. 3 amongst the individual has different passwords. So the first man should encode first his password, and then the second man will encode another password, and the third man will encode another password before they can enter certain data. So there is better interface if there is databases. Just come to imagine that there's no database. So how will we do this online teaching? How can we survive the new normal way of teaching, right? And we can better back up and recover the data. So for example, you forgot the password, there are ways and are for you to recover the password. For example, you lost those a copy of that particular data, there is a way in order for you to recopy it or to recover all those data. As long as you have your recovery tool, as long as you have your recovery details, you can recover those things. Because you just remember the password, just remember the code, always keep it in order for you to keep all those records and not to lose all those records.